아, 우울증.
So 36.8% of people in Korea are thought to be depressed. So there's been tremendous growth, as we know, but this is really disturbing. Highest expected rate of depression in the entire OECD. So what's to blame? So Jonathan Haidt says that the front-facing camera, because of social media, and high-speed internet access, if you put those together, anxiety and depression among young people goes up. So once again, Korea is the highest social media usage. And Korea at 89.3% is about 1.7 times that of other countries. So we know that the use of social media and anxiety and depression are linked, and Korea is one of the most difficult situations in the world. Right? So another thing that you ask, okay, so 36.8% of all Koreans have depression. How many of them get treated? Only 2% of Korean people get access to antidepressive therapy. So again, this shouldn't surprise us that suicide rates are high. If the highest rate of depression and lowest rate of treatment, there really is the lowest rate of treatment in OECD. Loneliness, we know that so-called 고독사, right? 고독사 is higher in Korea than anywhere else. One of my former students was the Surgeon General, the top doctor in the United States, and he said, if you answer yes on a questionnaire when they ask you, are you lonely? It shortens your life the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So it has a direct effect. Anxiety and loneliness have so much to do with suffering, and it's an entirely treatable phenomenon. And the only way to fix it is for the Korean people to demand that it gets fixed. Right? In the US, you see a lot of celebrities talking about depression. You know, Dwayne Johnson said depression doesn't discriminate, it affects everybody. Lady Gaga also said that she suffered from depression her entire life, founded a nonprofit. The British actress Emma Thompson also said depression is really common, it's something that we should all think about. And I had the great good fortune of meeting the BTS guys. And I was on a panel with them at the UN, and RM gave a beautiful speech about how people should love themselves.
I have come to love myself for who I am, for who I was, and for who I hope to become. What is your name? Speak yourself. Thank you very much.
It wasn't specifically about depression, not specifically about suicide, but it was wonderful. So there's the possibility that we can talk about this more effectively.
그러니까 저도 20대 중후반에 좀 우울증을 심하게 앓았었거든요. 그래서 정말 매일 죽음에 대한 생각을 거의 매일 할 정도로 술과 약에 정말 의존을 되게 많이 하면서 좀 너무 힘들었던 시기가 있었는데, 그러니까 그거를 제가 곰곰이 나중에 생각해 보니까 나는 왜 그랬을까? 비교인 것 같아요. 그러니까 아까 소셜 미디어도 얘기를 하셨지만 왜 나보다 잘 사는 사람이 많고 더 성공한 사람이 많고 나도 더 잘 돼야 된다는 그런 강박 때문에 그런 것들이 자신을 점점 행복보다는 불행하게 느끼게 만들어서 점점 그 우울증이 심해질 수 있는 게 아닌가 생각이 들고.
혹시 그러면은 형님도 막 극단으로 치닫고 이런 것도 있었습니까? 우울증 걸렸을 때?
제가 좀 높은 층에 살았었거든요.
네.
그래서 정말 밑을 바라보면서 나쁜 생각도 많이 했었어요. 심지어 뭐 칼 같은 걸 들어본 적도 있고 진짜 되게 위험한 순간이 되게 많았는데, 그걸 나중에 생각해 보니까 내가 내 자신을 너무 남들과 비교하면서 더 성공하려고 집착했던 게 문제가 아니었나, 이제 그런 생각이 들었습니다.
That's a very powerful story. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And so I want to tell you a story about a friend of mine. His name is Kevin Hines, and he's a very famous person because he's one of the few people to jump off the Golden Gate Bridge, you know, in San Francisco, one of the highest bridges. He jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge, and he wasn't either killed or paralyzed. There are only about 3 or 4 people in history who've jumped and were not killed or paralyzed. So Kevin is still there, and he still struggles. But here's what he told me that was just so powerful. He said that before he jumped, he was walking back and forth on the bridge for 45 minutes, looking very distressed, right? And there were many people that walked by him and saw him. And he said that if one person had asked him, "How are you doing?" he wouldn't have jumped. And the other thing he says that's crazy is he says that when he jumped off the bridge, he thought he had endless problems. His problems were unsolvable. But he said the minute his hand came off the bridge, all the solutions to his problems came into his head. And he thought, what an idiot. Why did you do that? And he says many survivors of suicide say the same thing. When they actually take the action, they go, oh my God, what am I doing? When I was in my hometown, Muscatine, Iowa, one of the things that one of the mothers who lost a child told me and told the entire audience, she said, you know, I just want you to know that my daughter did not want to die. She just wanted the pain to end, right? She said, I don't believe she wanted to die. I don't believe she wanted to leave us. I believe she wanted to make the pain end. And so this is why it's so important to train people in seeing what's going on with others.